Aloha from beautiful Oahu. I had a last minute opportunity to travel here and I'm so excited that I was able to take advantage of it. I've had people ask me, how do you travel being autistic? Isn't it so stressful and doesn't it give you anxiety? And the answer is yes, but also I really enjoy traveling. So I thought I would take the opportunity with this beautiful backdrop to share 3 things that I've learned about myself in order to better handle traveling, because it's important to me and I really want to do it. So first of all, I'm scared of heights and I'm like leaning against the banister right here. I'm like very aware of where I am. But I feel like, okay, so I talk about this a lot on the channel, the paradox of being autistic. I feel like so many contradicting feelings and emotions and experiences happen being on the spectrum. So, and I'm ADHD, autistic, ADHD. So I feel like the ADHD side of me loves new experiences, wants to be spontaneous, wants to hop on a plane and travel and see new things, do new things. The autistic side of me is like, wait, let's talk about this and let's find all the reasons that it's better to stay at home under my weighted blanket, right? So I think balancing those things has been challenging, and even not even just on a day-to-day basis, but like in a moment-to-moment basis of like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go out and do something spontaneous, and then like on the way out the door, I'm like, no, I would rather stay in, right? So the first major thing that I'm learning about myself is that planning makes all the difference. Things don't usually go according to plan, but sometimes you can stick pretty close to it. So I think what I'm learning for the autistic community, generally speaking, is that the more we plan, the more comfortable we feel. So for me, and I know some of y'all do this too, before I travel somewhere, I will like Google image search what it looks like specific, down to specific restaurants, down to specific, just experiences. Like I'll go to the website, I'll look at all the videos, I'll look at the gallery, and I'll make sure that I understand kind of like what to expect visually. I'll look at maps to see how to navigate. And one thing I did as soon as I got here, I really wanted to put my feet in the sand, but I couldn't get there. I got like stuck in this buildup of autistic inertia where it was like, I really want to do that, but I had to get my bearings first. I call it world building. And I think this is a big part of my planning process. I have to understand kind of contextually where I am in space and my environment. And so the first day I was here, I walked our entire property. We're at Heaton, Hawaiian Village, and it's a huge property. But before I could go put my feet in the sand, I needed to like get a grid for where I was. I needed to understand like the best vantage point, the best place to sit on the beach where it wasn't crowded. I needed to get my pool. I needed to get the towel rental situation figured out and know like where the closest drop-off was. I needed to research the umbrella prices, like how much it was going to cost me to get an umbrella in the sand. Too much. So then I found a grocery store and I bought my own umbrella and then took my own umbrella to the beach. So all of these things were like, I think it literally took me 3 hours. So I'm on the beach, like my hotel, it's like a 5-minute walk down there. And it took me like 3 hours to get there the first day because of how much world building I needed to do before I could do it. And with planning, it also comes, my arm is hurting from holding my camera up. I packed everything I needed to shoot a video except for my tripod. So my arm is functioning like a tripod. My shoulder's letting me know that it needs a break, but we'll carry on. So along with planning, I've just realized that I'm gonna be the bag lady. Okay, actually my shoulder really hurts. I'm just gonna be the bag lady. Like I always have bags. I always pack more stuff than I need. Well, that's not necessarily true. I pack a lot of stuff and most of the time I use all of it. And so I'm just coming to understand that about myself, that I need a lot of stuff in order to feel safe and comfortable and prepared. And so having that mindset beforehand of like, it's gonna be a lot to carry all of this, but to me, it's worth it. Like if my bag is too heavy and I have to pay extra to get it on the flight, worth it. If I have too many bags initially, but I have like all of my stuff gets to the location, like that's worth it to me to sacrifice a little bit of discomfort of carrying things around in the beginning in order to feel like more prepared and taken care of when I get to the place. So that helps a lot, just kind of managing my mindset there. Because I used to think there was like a lot of pride in packing light. I feel like people brag about that. And I'm just like, that's not the game I want to play, because then I feel so stressed and anxious. I want to know that I have everything. And I spent the whole week before I left for the trip just planning, packing every day. So then I like to make spreadsheets and actually somebody in our community lives here in Hawaii, and they made me a spreadsheet that's amazing. It's like color coordinated. It's organized around a map. Like, it's amazing. So being able to understand, like, here's my options. If everything went perfectly, this is what would happen. And then kind of building in some room for flexibility, because obviously most of the time things don't go according to plan. But like I said, you can get it pretty close. So planning is very important. Second thing is understanding my patterns. So after being diagnosed as autistic at the age of 31, which was like 3 years ago, I have just continually been learning more and more about myself. Sorry for the camera angle, y'all. And just building in more grace. Like, I know that I'm going to be anxious and overwhelmed when I travel, and I don't resist it. I just am like, okay, in this moment, I'm anxious. It makes sense that I'm anxious because there's been so many transitions that I can't even count how many transitions there's been. You know, I just give myself reassurance that, like, it makes sense that you feel this way. And I feel like the longer I'm a part of the autistic community, the longer I'm learning about myself, the more I understand about my patterns. Like, I know that transitions are hard. I know that I need to plan. I know that I'm going to be overwhelmed with different sounds and lights and textures. Food is another big one on the trip. Yeah, food, like eating different foods that I'm not familiar with. So this will go under the planning category, but I packed a lot of my go-to like protein snack bars on the trip, too many, so that I knew I would always have food every day, at least some basic calories that I could get if I was like having sensory aversions and like couldn't eat different food. So I know my pattern, and I know that I'm going to need to eat regularly. So I've been not forcing myself to eat, but like understanding that I forget to eat, especially when I travel. So I've been intentionally like trying to take a few bites of something here and there so that my stomach doesn't get empty. I have a huge water thermos that I brought, and then as soon as we got here, I got gallons of water, and I'm just like filling it up, because staying hydrated helps so much, honestly, with sensory overwhelm. If you stay hydrated, I promise it helps with sensory overwhelm, because your body's just able to function better. And then so snacks and water. Comfortable clothing changes everything. So make sure, I feel like wearing something comfortable is like you get a bonus spoon during the day, if you're familiar with spoon theory. So I know my patterns. I have grace for them. I don't resist them for the most part. At least once I realize what's going on, I'm like, oh, this is my pattern. So sorry about the angle. This is my pattern. It's okay. Like, I'm not going to fight this. And I know that I have tools now to take care of myself. So if I'm overwhelmed, maybe I just need to go back to home base, back to the hotel, and chill out and regroup, not talk to anybody, be under the covers and just chill out for a little while. Probably need to eat, probably need to stay hydrated, and stem for sure. And then the third thing is, I'm just going to label it the principle of Wu Wei, so WUWEI. This is a Chinese principle that I'm not the right person to define it, but it's essentially the art of non-doing, like just being, like what will be, and you just let yourself go with the flow. You don't resist. You're just kind of embracing like what life is bringing to you. And if it's a challenge, then you embrace the challenge and know that it will pass and that it will make you stronger. And if it's something great, you give into it, allow yourself to enjoy it. And I think this concept of Wu Wei is honestly changing my life, because things happen and you can't control them, and life happens a lot differently than I planned, but it's not always a bad thing. And honestly, I look at the patterns of nature and animals and plants. It's like the world is designed to go in a flow, like that nature doesn't think about the flow that it's in. It just exists. And like animals know when to eat and drink and sleep and hunt. And it's just like, I think observing nature and watching the patterns of nature is really calming to me, especially like the beautiful waves, because things just come and go. And the more we can get out of the way of that process, like the less we insert ourselves into that process of like, well, I think it should be this way. I wish this would have happened, feeling like, oh, this didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And then you hold on to it, you're like flustered because it didn't work according to plan. The sooner you can just let it go and be like, that's totally not what I was planning on, right? But what's available to me now in this moment? Like, where can I go from here? Another way to look at it is kind of like stepping into the river and going with the flow, like not going against the current, but just allowing your body to go where nature's taking you. So those are my 3 principles. I also wanted to share with you this amazing, I feel like it should be specifically targeted to autistic people. It's a travel pillow that's basically like a sensory deprivation chamber. I think that's what it should be called. SDC, sensory deprivation chamber. I forgot to inflate it before I started this video, so I guess I'll try to find a way to splice this together on my computer. Yeah, okay. So let me go get the inflatable pillow. In case you thought that YouTubers have it together, it's like I've never shot a YouTube video before. I forgot my tripod. My phone is currently balanced on top of an upside down trash can and supported by my water bottle. So yeah, it's not like I've been doing this professionally for a while now. Anyways, okay. So if you haven't seen it, this is the sensory deprivation chamber. It's not actually called that. It's an inflatable airplane pillow. I'm actually pretty amazed by this. So this was like 20 bucks on Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description. So what you do is you put your hands through it, and then you put your face inside of it. So from the front, like you put your hands through here, put your face in here, and then you like squeeze it. And it's like getting a hug. And so what's so great is you put your face in here and like you can't see other people. It also makes me feel better like as a germaphobe, because I feel like I'm in my own little like breathing zone. And I just was really amazed how calm it made me feel to use this. I have a really hard time sleeping on the plane, so I actually didn't fall asleep, unfortunately. But if I was going to, I feel like the only possible way for it to happen would be using this. It folds down really nice and compact, and it fit in my backpack easily. And then you can also like put your phone at the bottom of it if you want to watch TV or a movie or something. So I had this, I hugged it, I put my face in, I had my Bose noise canceling headphones on, and yeah, it was a total game changer for my flight, because obviously the flight to Hawaii is really long. It was like 8 hours from DFW, 7 hours and 40 minutes. But I feel like this should be a staple in every autistic person's life, at least if you like to travel. And even if you don't travel, this is just like a really surprisingly calming product to have. I was very, very happily surprised with this. So anyways, that's what I'm learning so far about traveling as an autistic person. I do really love it. It is overwhelming to me. It makes me anxious, but overall, it's a really wonderful experience. So I think lastly, I'll just say, it's important to create space for these complex experiences where we're feeling multiple things at the same time. I think what I'm learning, that's just kind of part of the autistic experience, is to embrace feeling 2 totally different ways at the same time, especially if you're ADHD and autistic. So anyways, that's it for now. Aloha, and I will talk with you in the comments. Bye.